with more Barnstable This Morning. Just about 10 minutes past the top of the hour on this Tuesday morning. I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining me live on the phone, I welcome our Chief of Police, Paul MacDonald. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, Chief, today talking a little bit about a topic that I wish we didn't have to talk about so much, but really continuing to be an issue here on the Cape, and that is drug overdoses.
Yeah, it's true. We do talk about it a lot, but it's important that we keep it out front so that everybody is aware of what is going on out in the street. Last time we talked about it was at the end of the year, back in December, and we looked back for the past 12 months, and we realized there was 81 individuals had overdosed, and there were 10 fatalities. Since then, moving on to this year, in the first 2 months of this year, there has been 45 drug overdoses, and 3 of them have been fatal. Of those 45, Narcan has been used 34 times. So if it wasn't for the Narcan that the police officers now have in the cruisers and the fire department have, who knows how many other deaths there might have been involved in here. But of those 45, there have been 7 individuals who have been revived multiple times, and people really have to get out there and they have to understand this is like playing Russian roulette. When you're injecting heroin or cocaine into your system, you do not know what you are getting, and the fatalities and the number of overdoses is absolutely staggering. Just the first 2 months, there's been 45, and if you figure that out and equate that out over the next 12 months or 10 months, it's going to be twice as bad as it was last year, and last year was a horrific year.
Well, Chief, staggering is the word that was going through my mind as well when when you say 81 overdoses in 12 months, and then in just 45. I mean, that's frightening.
And some of it is, they're just so glaring. 2 weeks ago, we talked about that individual, Clinton Brown, who had dropped off a deceased individual to the Cape Cod Hospital who had overdosed. And then this past Saturday, the officers responded to a home on Cam Street, Hyannis, and they found 2 individuals unresponsive, laying on the kitchen floor. Both individuals were administered Narcan. The Hyannis Rescue responded. Both individuals were transported to the hospital. One of them was revived, but the other one still is in critical condition and might not make it. But worse than that, it's a father and son, and they were both injecting heroin to each other, and they both almost passed away, and one is probably going to pass away. And what makes it even more horrific, in the last 2 years, the same family has lost 2 other siblings to heroin overdoses.
It really is. That's the scariest thing of all, Chief, when you see the families that get involved with it together. And I know that it seems like we hear that a lot, that it's either a mother and daughter or a father and son, or a married couple, or it's amazing to see how it really can infiltrate a family unit like that.
It's the addiction. I know it's an illness and it should be treated as an illness, but we as a community, everybody has to get out there and really start focusing on the prevention and the education. By the time it gets to us, with the interdiction of the drugs and then the treatment of the drug, it's kind of too late then. It's the prevention and the education, get to the kids, get to the young, get to the families, educate them and what's going to happen. There is no such thing as a middle-aged drug addict, because they're all dead, they're all deceased, and this is just such an unfortunate, and it's just such an epidemic. It's not just for this town, but, this is right across the Cape, right across the state. We go to a different Chiefs meeting, and they're all talking about the same thing. Thank God for Narcan. If it wasn't for Narcan, the number of overdoses would be staggering. And on the other flip of the coin, I hope individuals aren't taking unnecessary risk, because Narcan is out there. We have gone to overdoses where, their partners, one person is actually injecting themselves with heroin and possibility of overdosing, and they're telling their friends, if I pass out, use Narcan on me. So I hope they're not being unwise and using Narcan that way.
Right, maybe taking away some of the fear of death and say, okay, well, I can do as much of this as I want because I have this safety net, and that's a terrifying thought as well. Chief, you have to think about, you have to wonder why. Why is this happening? And of course, I don't expect you to have the answer. I don't think anybody has the answer, but it certainly is a concern, and especially, no matter how much we've been talking about it lately, it just seems like the problem just continues to get worse.
It's the addiction part of it. I don't think individuals can help themselves. When when this happens, we open up a major investigation. So this past Saturday, we sent several members of the drug unit down there to investigate, try to find out where the narcotics was coming from. And out there during the course of their investigation, talking to other people out in the street, they're telling our officers that there are now individuals who are trying to locate that same heroin that these two individuals use, because they look at it that, oh, geez, if they overdosed on it, it must be good stuff. It must be more pure heroin. Therefore, they want it.
Frightening.
That is frightening.
Really
that frightening. Is frightening. It is very sad, and that's what we have to combat. We can't arrest our way out of this problem. We have to get these individuals to help or get to them before they even start this or go down this road.
Indeed. But from that law enforcement perspective, Chief, obviously this is a huge focus for you and the department. Are you going to be kind of turning it up a little bit more in terms of looking for where the supply is coming from and how it's being distributed around town?
We are doing that. We have a couple of major cases opening up now with DEA and the Mass State Police. We have located a source coming down to the Cape from Brockton, and we are actually this is not for common knowledge, but we're actually working with the Plymouth CPAC unit for a major heroin case coming out of Brockton into Cape Cod. And that's our responsibility. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and we will do it. But we also want to participate in the prevention, the education, because it has to go hand in hand. We alone, the police and judicial system, we're not going to solve this problem by ourselves.
Chief, how can people help? Say if you have a friend or a family member who is struggling with addiction, or someone who might be participating in those kind of activities, what should people do?
There are all kinds of resources out there. If they get them into counseling, if they get them into Gosnell, if they spend some time with them, if they know where they're going, if your child's going out, if your 17, 18-year-old kid's going out, make sure you know where they're going, and make sure you wait for them, make sure they come out, make sure there's some type of responsibility and there's some type of accountability in there. The kids just can't go to these parties, do whatever they want to do, and mom and dad just don't care. In the old days, when I was a young kid, when I went out, I had to tell everybody where I was going. I had to be back at a certain time. There has to be accountability for these kids, especially at the younger age. This is where it starts. It starts in the middle schools. It starts in the high schools. Innocent as it may be, I'm just going to try it. But once you try it, some of this cocaine and the heroin and the oxycontin, the addictive, the addictive additives of this drug are so powerful. You only do it 1 or 2 times, and you're hooked on it.
Exactly. It's not, it's not something that really can be experimented with and then put away. It's
No,
something
absolutely
that
not.
changes your life.
Absolutely not. It will change your life. It will ruin your life. It will kill you.
Indeed, and I think that is the message that really people need to absorb before they think about, delving into those unsavory activities. Is that this is a big deal, and it's something that will definitely change your life.
And I know there've been a lot of meetings out there. Everybody's getting together. A lot of people talking about it, but enough talk, and let's have some action. Let's start getting something done. Absolutely.
Well, Chief, I thank you so much as always for joining us today. I know this is a huge issue for you, a big drain on the department, but we thank you for everything that you do and for the advocacy that you're getting out there for people suffering with addiction.
Good talking to you, Sarah.
Great, Chief. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Chief of Police Paul MacDonald joining us on this Tuesday morning. Going to head into our